to remote code execution. Off to you guys.
Hello everyone. My name is Qinghao Tang. This is my colleague Yuan Shuo. We come from China. We are the researchers of Qihoo 360 technology company. My work focuses on cloud computing security and Linux kernel security. And my colleague Yuan Shuo is a team member of 360 Marvel team. He previously conducted security research on Linux system vulnerability and now focus on security research in the IoT direction. This topic is about IoT security. I believe that you guys have saw many slides in many cybersecurity conferences, such as car vulnerability or router vulnerabilities. Today I will share something interesting in the wireless storage device. Wireless storage device is a new type of IoT device. In this device, people can store personal data like photograph or video. This type of IoT product has rarely been discussed at security conferences, and no clear project has been identified. We have found some security problems which can help hacker get personal data from this type of device. When user connect the device to the public Wi-Fi network. By using this vulnerability, hackers can get the remote root shell of the device operating system without any credentials, and even can read and write any data in the hard disk. So the vulnerability is high risk. This vulnerability not only causes the loss of private data, but also can be used as a springboard for a large attack. That is, spread Trojans on the line by infecting certain fields located on the storage devices. The content of this presentation will cover the entire process of analyzing hardware, analyzing firmware, fuzzing, and exploitation vulnerabilities, as well as our new perspective on IoT device security. Finally, a complete demotion of remotely acquired devices control and obtaining important files of the device will be given. This slide contains 3 parts. In the first one, I will introduce the basic information about this device. And in the second part, my colleague Yuan Shuo will introduce the attack surface and how to find vulnerabilities in this type of device. And in the third part, I will introduce the exploitation tool, which can automatically find devices and attack it in the Wi-Fi environment. Now we'll begin the first part. The first part will include target information and how to get the firmware, hardware introduction, and software introduction. The wireless storage devices analyzed belong to the Western Digital company. My Passport Wireless Pro is a portable wireless Wi-Fi storage device designed by this famous company. It's for outdoor photographers and Internet of Things in hostess. It can be used as a Wi-Fi server or Wi-Fi client to establish a connection with the user's mobile device. Users can access the data in this type of storage device through the local area network. So it's a big attack surface. In China, we have so many outdoor videographers use this type of device. It has a built-in SD card reader. Photographers can copy the files of the SD card to the wireless hard disk. Meanwhile, mobile device and the PC device also can access to the files remotely. If videographers do not use this device, they must insert the SD card into the computer so they can view the photos. When I opened the storage device, I found that it has a very complex board than the traditional one. In the middle of the board, that is a CPU chip of the operation system, one A7 SoC. And on the left of the board, that is a ROM chip, which can store the firmware. On the right of the board, that is the RAM memory chip. And on the below of the board, that is a wireless access point chip. The right part is the power. And the bottom of this picture, we can see that is a mechanical hard disk. It's mounted on this operation system. And after I analyzed the hardware of this device, I started to think how to get the firmware from the ROM chip. In general, we can use this method. For example, we can ask for an upgrade package from the official website or after sales. It's the easiest. Or we can analyze online upgrade process and capture the package to get the download address. Or we also can reverse mobile application software, then get the communication algorithm. And we also can use hardware debug interface to pack the firmware. And we can also use a programmer to read the firmware from flash. So we use the last method to get the firmware. And fortunately, the firmware is not encrypted. Then we'll look at the software part. This type of wireless storage device is equipped with an embedded operating system. Some file sharing software and protocols are pre-configured on it, then provide a lot of function. My colleague will introduce this in the next part. And this device have three main functions. The first one is to open and close access point wireless hotspot. The second one is to connect to mobile device and transfer files wirelessly. The third one is to provide some external network service, such as remote media playback. Now my colleague Yuan Shuo will introduce second part.
Hello. The second part is the introduction of wireless hard disk vulnerability meaning, including from which antiparts from for vulnerability meaning. The first is actually the surface of device. The device is about firmware system security field. The next is firmware algorithm method, such as through background update, through user click upgrade programs. The next one is the network transfer. The second is attract service of the network. It's about its communication protocol, such as HTTP protocol and UPnP protocol. The third is the electric surface of the cloud. Cloud service config use the low version HTTP servers, and cloud service vulnerability weak password vulnerability. Okay, let's first this is vulnerability meaning. First of all, how to exploit the vulnerability. In the first step, my goal is wireless hard disk. Then I will start with essential web server. Why do I start with a web server without starting with the local programs or service? Because the IoT device is different from the Linux PC host. Compared to the IoT system, the system is a corrupted version. The function is much less than the operating system of the PC. At the same time, local vulnerability are more difficult to tackle on the IoT device. So it is necessary to rely on remove attacks to tackle. So we prefer the network service programs to exploit the vulnerability. From the perspective of the open path and the service, the effective survey of traditional IoT device is mainly divided in three types. The first is the web server service of the HTTP protocol. The web server is divided two types. One of the open source web service programs, and the other is a web server program written by themselves. And the second type is plug and play service plug corresponding to the UPnP protocol. The main function is to perform part matching. And the third one is the service discovery protocol service written by themselves. Some orders will write some defined device discovery protocol in order to support their own IoT device. This is a traditional track service, but for wireless hard drivers, it's a little different from the traditional track service. The difference is the Samba protocol service. It can support wireless hard disk file sharing, because the main function of the the main function of the wireless hard disk is because the main function of the wireless hard disk is supported by the file sharing function area. The Samba protocol is also a very important vulnerability meaning point of the wireless hard disk. The second step, we need to find out the open parts and service programs. Then aggregate the roles of each service and the links between them, so we can better understand the relationship between the wireless hard disk software. In the fourth pass, we need to conduct in-depth security audit and water meeting of the service programs. And in the end, we need to write a vulnerability track tools. First, we log into the web background of the wireless hard disk. We open the SSH operation. It enables us to better exploit the vulnerabilities. Through the part scanning tools, we get the open ports and service of the wireless hard disk. As shown in the figure above, the device open up some ports and service that are more vulnerable. Open service have Samba service, web service, AIP service, and UPnP service. Samba service is a file sharing protocol, and AIP service is Apple Network Protocol service. And the UPnP is a plug and play service. Methods is exploring vulnerability on the Samba file transfer protocol and the UPnP protocol. In this part, there are 4 parts for vulnerability meaning. The process of constructing IoT vulnerability audit is mainly divided into 4 types. The first part is the audit of dangerously sensitive functions, such as string copy, map copy, and similar functions can cause firmware overflow. The second part is to audit the input port of the function. If there is a function with a dangerous overflow, and there is a situation where the user can control input, then the vulnerability can be exploited. The third part is to digit whether the current program is open source code or self-written version. If it is self-written, it may have more security problem. The last part is to check whether the current programs has a local vulnerability to change the flow of function. So we tend to view the Samba protocol and see if there are furnished security issues with it. First, we log into the operating system by SSH to view the Samba service fields. From the fields, the share path of the Samba service is /stone, and the visitor is alone to access. We can see that the current version of Samba protocol is version 3.6.25. Because I have constant about Samba vulnerability in previous research, I want to validate if there is a history vulnerability in this version. First, I look at the current path field of the history vulnerability and add a filter to the string in the path field. And then by discovering the Smbd demo of the Samba protocol, I found that the current program does not include the judgment of the string. So this is have a history protocol vulnerability. When we use the Samba protocol to upload a SO field to the share path of the together field, because the function does not filter the string, it can cause the function to access the do Samba load model function. Finally, any code in the SO fields will be exported and executed in the init model function. The function has the same format as the Samba init model function. There is no peep name functions is a function The function is to decide if it's a people name. If the people name string is not filtered in the vulnerable versions, then the parameter people name will be passed to Samba probe model function. Because the Samba probe model function calls the do Samba load model function, the people name string will be loaded as a path. When judging whether the first string of model name, the function will jump to the floor of another initiated functions. The parameter people name is used as a path to export the address format of Samba initiated model. And then execute the export function, which is still the export functions of upload SO fields. They will result in the exciting any code. The next one is my college to talk.
Now I will continue to introduce how to use these vulnerabilities for a complete attack. This vulnerability cannot cause a big impact before, but it can choose a lot of power on this wireless storage device. According to the previous introduction, the Samba protocol vulnerability can be used to use two preconditions. The first one is that the device should be accessed remotely. The second one is that the shared directory path of the device should be known. However, on this device, the shared directory path is stable, so the exploitation is easy to implement. The complete attack process consists of 3 steps. The first step is to find the device in the Wi-Fi environment. The second step is to trigger the vulnerability and exploit. The third step is to control the device and maybe inject a program in it. In the first step, we can use the SSDP device discovery protocol to search this type of wireless storage device. This process includes 3 contents. First, initialize the object and parameters, then get the IP and UUID of the current device. Note that the UUID is caused by adding 40, that is 0000, to the address of the MAC address. Then the message processing thread will process UDP and TCP messages separately. Finally, use the select model to search the SSDP message to discover the device. then upload the source file through the Samba protocol. To use this vulnerability, and then we can to run the exploitation program. Upload the source file to the shared directory of the various hard disks through the function of Samba protocol, and execute this operation in the load payload function, the third function. When we find this device, we can get the IP of the device and find its shared fair path information. When the exploitation is successful, it will cause the server to open a shell program, and the shell will listen on the local port. In this graph, we can see the when the exploitation program is successful, that will show this. First, it can search devices in the Wi-Fi environment and find AP that is this, and find a path and upload the file to the to this path and open a shell. Then run an ID program to show its root shell. In our process, we can see discovering this type of device is a critical step during the attack. And I have finished an automated tool that can sniff the device in the Wi-Fi environment. Its operation principle is broadcast the search packet in the Wi-Fi environment through the device discovery protocol, and visit the IP information of all network segment in the environment, and then compare the return information with the fingerprint of the IoT devices. That is a wireless storage device. When it sniffs the IoT specific device fingerprint of this storage device, it will fill the corresponding IP and path of shared files, then perform an automated vulnerability attack. When the wireless hard disk is connected to the public coffee Wi-Fi, after launching the attack tool, the hacker can perform other operations through this portal. The attacker can continue to implant the Trojan, and when the user connects the device to the PC with USB, the PC will also be infected. And attacker can also use this device as an access point to collect other information about the device, such as the MAC address, or modify the host information to fake the website. We have formed these ideas into crypto tools, but they are not currently disclosed. Maybe I will put them on the GitHub, maybe a month or 2 months. 2 months. And through this security analysis and vulnerability research on the various hard disks, I thought about the security of many questions about the IoT security. In the similar embedded wireless hard driver system, some vendors can use open source third-party code to compiler tools, and they don't update security patches timely. It can this vulnerabilities can cause many high-risk problems. If you guys have any question, you can contact my colleague Yuan Shuo by the email address yuanshuo@360.com. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. As usual, if you have any questions, just raise your hand and I'll give you the mic. Okay, it seems that there's no question, so thank you very much again, and